Yeah, so with your permission, we'd like to record the meeting today. Okay, yeah, so that started. Now share screen. Share. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Great. So I think this sort of stemmed from our discussion. We were having a discussion regarding like price targets, how how stocks behave, what sort of people ask often, what sort of targets do we want to have. So that is something that's very interesting, very personal. Like essentially, there's no right or wrong answer because these targets are often calculated by our own experiences, what might have happened in the past, support resistance. There are various logics to it, and we are going to sort of demystify this process and sort of find out what's really happening when these price targets are being calculated, like who is sort of behind this process, how this process takes place in the first place, so you understand and get an insight as to how this behaves and where you might want to exit a stock and where you might want to remain invested. And we're talking primarily from the investor perspective, not from the trading perspective, not for derivatives or whatever other instruments are there. So now, does anyone have any stock they there's analyst coverage, they want it to be explored? I have.
Is there? Yeah, there is a Deccan Cement stock, Anand. If you can take a look at that.
What are the price targets?
Price targets is 850.
And preferably something with earnings coming up, because
Okay.
I can sort of this thing. What's the symbol? DECCAN?
I think the next one, yeah, it's Deccan CE.
Okay. So let's do monthly. Okay, so it's at an all-time high, correct?
Yeah.
So now basically there's a price target of what?
850.
850. Okay. So essentially what's happening here is that these price targets are often results of analyst management meetings. Does everyone know that, or is that like people are in the dark about how it's calculated and what's happening?
I have no clue how it is calculated.
Okay, anyone have any idea? You can either like sort of mention it in the chat, or anyone who has some sort of thing. No clue. Okay, someone who has any faint idea, you can just respond in the chat and then I will tell you to unmute yourself. Okay, so sounds like it's a foreign concept for everyone. So essentially, what happens is, this is Deccan Cements. Now let me just go to like screener and just see their results. Okay, high, low. This is a really good website. Everyone can sort of bookmark this and sort of see what's happening. It gives you like good ratios and stuff like that. So Deccan Cements, yeah. So essentially, can everyone just see that from the last March they've done better as far as sales have gone?
Yeah.
Okay, profit has also increased. So these price targets which is there based on this increase, like some analyst is sitting in like a big institution calculating the rate of increase if you're growing by 20%, 25%, 15%, and he's giving a price target. Roughly you can see the growth has been 40% here. So what we do is, like, let's say year on year it's gone 40%. So you might be able to see a direct appreciation here. I mean, it's a lot more complicated than that, but I'm just simplifying it and giving you like a peek of it. So let's say 40% from last March, and where has it gone from last March? Yeah, so it's gone a lot more than that. That's what's happened. So essentially, when these price targets are calculated, calibrated, there's a lot of behind the scenes activities that are happening. Like a lot of things are happening under the hood. Umesh, you've joined the meeting. Are you here?
Yes, Anand.
Yeah, okay, because I think there's people still to be let in, like I'm presenting and then,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
constant this thing. I'll just see if I can make you co-host on this meeting. You can, you've become co-host?
Wait. Yeah.
Okay, so if people are just waiting to be added to the meeting, like, you can add them.
Sure.
Yeah. So essentially, like these price targets are the result of like all these activities. Like there is management sitting with Umesh. Are you able to see someone's waiting?
Yeah, I've already added Neeraj.
Okay. Great. Awesome. So it's working. So also, guys, if there's background noise, please mute yourself. Thank you. So the result of these analyst management meetings, like the way analysts have met with the management and they sort of decide, this is how much we can grow, this is how much we want to grow, this is the projection, and then they take out something. So Umesh, since you're here, let's just sort of illustrate a scenario like this, like, what's exactly happening. Are you here? Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
So I am now the analyst, and Umesh, which company are you the CEO of?
You can take any, you can take a bank or say let's go with a bank.
Okay, bank. So I think Kotak has results on this week. So let's just take Kotak. Okay, now the stock price is here at like 1722. So so now I'm meeting Umesh. I can even show you on TradingView because it has this nice feature of earnings that it gives you. Actually, I think it's open in another tab. Let me just take this indicator out. Yeah. Let me just take this also out. Okay. So here you can see TradingView. You can see there's an earnings. Oh, it's already gone, is it? I think it's Monday. Okay. So Umesh, now you can see the chart, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm coming to you. So how much, are you going to grow year on year? All this. Can you tell me how are the NPAs doing, asset quality? Tell me everything.
So we are expecting the slippages to go down.
Okay.
And accordingly, we'll reduce the provisions as well.
Okay.
And our CASA growth and deposits are increasing on a good scale of say 25%.
Okay, great. So I guess that means we can definitely say that, your stock is going to go up by 20%.
Well, that would be too high. Like we are already valued better than other banks. So
Okay.
I will suggest that if you keep it a bit lower, so that there's a surprise in the earning and the price and people start chasing our stock. So that will be
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So basically, like what you want to do here is that, like, and probably like you want to buy back your own shares and all also, correct?
Yeah, so that we can, if you'll already give high prices, then we'll have to give much more premium for a buyback.
Yeah. Okay. So probably 15% from here, then I will give a target of 1900. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. That's done. Okay. So essentially now the target has come. Guys, this is all hypothetical. No? There's no investment advice and all that. Please don't go and buy this on Monday. So 1900 is somewhere here is what the analyst has given the price target. Okay. Now what's going to happen? I'm meeting Umesh now. I'm calling him after the earnings. Umesh, you had said like some, 25%. I think you all have reached like 33% and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now your stock has reached like 2000. That's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, of course. So that was the whole reason, and thanks for understanding the market scenario.
Yeah. Of
Giving us
course, of course. Okay. Awesome. So that's done. Now, the prices at 2000, and everyone's happy. I'm happy as the analyst because I don't want to take I don't want to cause a conflict between myself and the management. He is happy because stock has gone better than expected. And the price was expected at 1900, the target was given, but it's gone to 2000. Okay. So who is this? Yeah, we'll come to that, the price volumes and analyzing charts and all that. So we'll come to that. That's a good topic. That's a good point also. So essentially now, does everyone know, between just this discussion, what have you all observed? Like, can one or two of you unmute yourselves, and this journey from 1722 to 2000, what have you observed?
It's a perception of an analyst based on his past experience.
No, that's fine. But what exactly is happening between the brokerage houses and the management? What is exactly happening? How is this price target calculated? How is it even relevant to anything that we do? Anyone? Anyone want to ask? No one is this thing.
Basically, it's, analyst is trying to understand what is the growth prospect and trying to determine the price. I mean, he's kind of validating or, confirming or asking that question that, what will be the growth? And according to that, he's trying to price the stock.
Right. But can he price it accurately?
No, he cannot, because
And what did you notice between the conversation Umesh and I had? What did you notice? Did I try and question his authority? Did I try and ask him, like, I could have said, no, I'll put a figure of 2. Umesh, let's get back to the topic. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So Umesh, so actually now I feel, like you said, growth is all this, all these things are good. I'll put a price of 2000. Okay, done. Okay, all good. Done. Ready?
No.
Okay. Now I've gone and put 2000. It's come, and now what's happened is earnings have been not that good, and price is down to 1800. Okay, it's not grown that much, the stock. So okay. Oh my God. Now I've made a mistake here. Umesh.
Who the hell are you? I'm not attending your call because you don't listen to what I'm trying to tell you.
I mean, come on, yeah. Sorry. I made a mistake. Please don't do this. I'll lose my job, and it's going to be bad for me. Please don't do this. Come on, listen to me.
This is last time I'm giving an opportunity.
Okay, I'm really sorry. I'm going to make sure that like next time you tell me, and I'll put it less only. Like don't worry. Thanks for giving me another chance. Otherwise, like, my boss would have fired me. Like very clear. Okay, guys. So what did you notice right now? What just happened in the last 5 minutes?
There was a course correction.
Huh?
There was a course correction.
There was that's fine. But what happened to me, the analyst, at this point? Like, what exactly happened by me putting a target, and the bank not achieving the target?
So somewhere the information that has been given, right?
Yes.
And what analyst thought, right? Analyst went ahead and padded it up with his own nuances or thought process or belief, rather than simply going with what the bank is saying.
Yes, absolutely. So do you not think when these price targets and all are given, there is a lot of strings being pulled by management, big bulls, FIs, and other people when these targets are being...
Yeah, possible and not possible. It all depends how much
Right.
influence or how close people have the information, right? And
Right.
at what point of time the information is available. So
Right.
it matters. It may be available, it may not be available, but considering the fact that we are living in an information overloaded world, everything, all these strings could
फ्री
have
तो
been
नहीं हो,
told
एक
before it
सेमिनार
comes
चालू है,
out.
बट देख सकता हूँ.
Someone, I
Deep,
guess,
Deep
please.
Nagpal, please mute yourself. Anita Bhavna, please mute yourself.
Yes. So Venkat, what were you saying?
So what I'm saying, Anant, was ki
Yeah.
today when information is available to everyone, right?
Right.
And it, the speed at which it is available is unimaginable, right?
Okay.
So I will definitely believe that whatever discussion has happened between bank and the analyst, okay,
Yes. Yeah.
that would have, the moment the analyst comes out,
Hmm.
okay, and the bank comes out, right, it would
Yes.
have definitely gone to some closed circles, and from there it will reach to another set of closed
Of
circles,
course. Yes. Yes.
right? And they will also have some influences, right? If somebody is long,
Of
somebody is
course.
short,
Yes. Yeah.
right? So they will say, okay, no, now increase the target or reduce the target, something like that. That's how the
Yeah.
manipulations and all those things work.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So when these meetings and all are going on, if a stock is bullish and things, they want to take the price higher, who is going to buy first? Like before we even have a clue of what's going on. Who is going to buy first? Venkat, I guess you can only answer it.
Large institutions.
Exactly my point. I guess actually now I don't want you to answer because everyone else will then not answer.
Sure.
So that's why. So basically, the big money, like the power of big money, cannot be underestimated, and that's why when you see these targets and all that, like don't try and game and calculate them when you're investing, because these are all results of meetings, these are all results of vested interests. Like, take everything with a grain of salt. And that's why when people ask me also, like, you're investing, what are price targets and all, I say I don't have any. I'm investing in a fundamentally sound company. I have my exit strategy planned and stuff, but things are going well. There's no need to like do anything, and there's no need to trust. Like, you should basically trust your own process. Like, try and become independent from what analysts are saying, from what other people are saying, because the whole idea essentially is that the information, what you compile and the trust which goes into your process will make you the maximum number of profits. Like, is that clear, or someone has anything else to add or suggest, or are there any questions around it? Okay, nothing. Is there anything in the chat? No. So I think Sridhar has yeah, Kunal, can you sort of, are you there? Can you unmute yourself and ask what you were asking?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
I was going to ask that if these things, if these targets are being discussed internally,
Yes.
then these different brokerage firms which set their targets after the results specifically,
Yes.
why is it that some of them are totally bullish, some of them are totally bearish, and some of them are neutral on the same stock?
Okay, that's a very good question. Can someone answer it? Does someone wants to answer it? No. Umesh, you want to answer this if you're still with us?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So you always have, like, every brokerage doesn't have the same, same wavelength of, what do you call, influence with the management of the company. And management is just one part of your price target setting. Like, someone had raised questions, I guess Sridhar, that they don't go only by the management input. Definitely they don't go only by that. They have information available with them. Apart from management and information, there are few very influential big people, like, let's call them big money, who don't hold shareholding only in one particular company. They have it in multiple companies. So they have their vested interest in influencing the price. Say they want to do more of accumulation, so they'll ask the firm to give a lower rating for the time being, lower price targets, so that they can get in and they can accumulate the share. Or else if they are done with their accumulation, they'll ask them that let's give a bigger target and let's keep the price moving up. Okay, and regarding the different price targets, say for instance, Nomura maybe having good relation with Kotak management, and Goldman Sachs won't be having a good one. Like they would have had some issues, like we had discussed. GS would have given wrong targets, wouldn't have heard to the management earlier. So they won't, Kotak won't be entertaining GS anymore. So for obvious reasons, they would grill more into the fundamentals, and they'll try to bring it down. They'll try to bring forward the more fair picture. So like if you'll see, for instance, Biocon, CLSA has been forever bearish on this particular stock. Even whatever be the result, you'll find many people giving bullish targets, but CLSA always make sure that they have a downgraded target. So these are some collusions. We cannot call them, like no one has evidence or anything. This is what you can just say by your inference, that there are some cartels formed like that only. So you have a good relation with few management, you're bullish on those. You don't have, you don't give it. So, and this is just one part of it. Definitely inputs are considered, but being like, because input is considered, that is that is known to everyone. Like fundamentals are definitely looked into. What we are trying to bring out through this particular webinar or session is that what are the other elements which come into the picture.
Yeah, thanks for that, Umesh. Also to add to that, like Kunal, so the thing is sometimes like someone who might not be having good relations with the management, like, they might always be bearish on a particular stock, like, and they like that stock is completely out of favor. Always think about the vested interests that are there with the big money. Like always keep that in mind, because then you'll never go wrong. Once you or sorry, I should rephrase that. It's not never go wrong, but then you will go wrong very few times. Like, Umesh, does that sound about right?
Yes, Anand.
Yeah. So always remember like the big picture. Now, like when it comes to a stock like Tesla, there is Michael Burry, who's famous from The Big Short. Like he wants to like keep shorting Tesla. He's like, why don't, like, it's very overvalued and stuff, and he has a very valid point. But on the other hand, people are so optimistic about changing the world, and Elon Musk, they are being bullish. So always, take these things with a pinch of salt, do your own analysis. And when you start studying, quarter on quarter, I discussed this in my course, like how you discuss this quarter on quarter, you just see the growth of sales, profits, all those things, and you put it down and you see how it's actually growing, you will come up with your own price target. Like, you won't be dependent on anyone else. Okay, anyone want to add anything? Any other questions, or I'll get to Sridhar? I think, thanks Sridhar for joining, and I think you don't have a mic, and you've asked, I think, 2-3 questions, so I'll address those first. Price targets are of two types. Okay, management discussions, brokerages, all targets you can set by analyzing chart price volume. Okay, chart price volume you say, right? But now think about this. I'll go to something. Now, if you go to Daulat, I think someone was discussing this in our group. Now, if you take a monthly chart, okay, now these people say that this 80 is resistance. A lot of people want to go short here, but you see how bullish it's become over here. And there is sort of a lot of stocks which are like this. There are earnings coming out on Monday. Like I think for Reliance is coming out.
Reliance was already out, Anand.
Reliance is out. Okay. So, which is something else that's coming out on Monday, Tuesday?
Jindal Steel, Axis Bank.
Jindal Steel. Okay. And now, okay, see, this is actually very interesting. You see, there's a lot of accumulation going here. I'll see if I have a volume indicator to put up here, but there's a lot of heavy accumulation going here. Let's go here. Jindal Steel. I'll just put a volume profile study here. You see these two pink lines that are so heavy here, like there is big buying or selling by institutions here. So, Umesh, when are the earnings?
Monday.
So now, Umesh, can you tell me if it's very bullish, like this is one resistance, this is the other resistance? Can you actually tell me if it's going to stop here or not?
It may not.
It may not, right? Right?
Right.
It may not, exactly. So, Sridhar, like when it comes to price volumes and things like that, the thing is like purely from an investment standpoint, these things come with a lot of, with a lot of pinches of salt. Like you can't absolutely go by what the chart is telling you. You need to keep doing your valuations. You just need to keep building your estimates, and you need to keep seeing what the commentary is and what the big money is doing, because suddenly this now it'll break this. It'll give a heavy up move, and then people will say, oh, like you went to short it here, and then you lost out. So when it comes to price volume charts, like be very, very careful and understand what's going on and understand the vested interest behind these things. Like, this is one target, you have one more target here. You could have any number of targets, but always see what the performance is coming. Yes, exactly. No single method is bulletproof or foolproof. So that's why when it comes to investing, you should make sure that you understand what the stock is doing. You understand what the management is doing. You should understand it's a variety of factors. It's not just one factor. You should understand exactly what's going on. And you should also understand when a price target is given, why is it given, and what is the vested interest in the stock reaching that price. Yes, multiple inputs, exactly. So that's why, at least for me, the way I weed out noise is I ignore all this. Like for my investments, I don't have any price targets. I will rebalance and change depending on whether the performance of the company is changed, whether things are not going well, the business model is changing. I do it purely on fundamentals. There are some people who do it on technicals. Some people manage their risk. Some people sell off part of their shares. Like there are various ways of doing it. Yeah, okay. Deep, your hand is raised. Please go ahead. Unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hi Anand, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
So I had like, can we judge the price targets based on the Fibonacci indicator?
Now again, you've asked the same thing. Fibonacci indicator.
Anand,
What is happening? Like, see, we are discussing all these indicators, all the accumulation distribution happening by big money. Like if we are using Fibonacci, don't you think the big money is using Fibonacci? They know exactly what's happening on the charts.
Right.
They know that, right?
Yes.
They know what kind of candles are being created, right?
Right.
So, like, do we as retailers have the power to fight the big money?
No.
No, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I like. I mean, see, derivatives is different. I can't comment on that because that is between buyer and seller, like how the price moves. But when it purely comes to investing, at that point, like I trust, the valuations which I get, as much undervalued it is, how much the industry is going to grow because the stock will eventually grow with it, and and basically sort of the future growth of the company as a whole. Like what exactly is happening, who the person is. Can I trust the person with my money? Like always understand you're giving someone else your money, your hard-earned money, so that trust has to be established. So those are the metrics I do my analysis. and I'm able to see whether I want to trust this person or not. Like, you know, it's as simple as that. Like I can show you a case where it's gone, things have gone horribly wrong. Okay, this was a fundamentally beautiful company, Vakrangi. I think a lot of people have heard it.
Yes, even I heard.
Yes. So you see what's happened here. It's gone up to 400 here from these levels in 16, 17. Everyone, the whole world was going gaga about this. So you went up here, and suddenly what happened is that there was some allegations. Management didn't respond, and something, and I was sort of, you know, invested. I had a good position here. So right here, I'm like, okay, I don't trust you guys now because there's some allegation. Like, you all are not replying. So I exited my whole position. I'm like, I'm not going to invest in untrustworthy people. Like, you know, that's just it. That's my principle. And I'm like, I'm leaving. And now see where it is. From that 400, it's come down to 40. Like all the FIs, DIs, everyone has sold their position. So that's why when it comes to all this Fibonacci and all these things, I think, you know, don't, like, if you're trading and all, don't use one method in, you know, in isolation. Identify what works for you and how you can build your conviction, and take those high probability setups. You know, that's all I can say to advise. Now there are more inputs.
I usually check 2-3 indicators. One is like Fibonacci, other one is the strength of the stock that is measured by RS2 Nifty, and third one is their earnings or the FII position for the quarter. I'm quite new, I'm just 8 months new, but these are a couple of things I use to check.
Yeah, so I can, like, in that cash discussions group, I have posted a link to my blog. There are around 40-50 books. You can get started over there. Like, you know, you can message me and I'll give you like 2-3 books which will help get you started, because the most important thing is learning and becoming independent. Because
Right.
any brokerage house, any tip provider, any calls provider, anyone doing that, everyone has a vested interest. Like, you know, no one is sort of doing a charity here, like, you know, to put it
Right,
bluntly.
right. Very, very true.
Yeah, so that is what we have to keep understanding, like, you know. Yeah, so Sridhar is saying this thing.
Thanks Anand.
Yeah, of course, anytime. So they worked perfectly for first 5 targets, then chip shortage nosedived and stuff. Yeah, things are dynamic and will change. Yeah, so Sridhar has summarized and says, Sridhar I think doesn't have a mic, so I can't ask him to unmute himself. So yeah, definitely these are things that happen. So those targets and all won't work. But I think you're talking about more from a trading perspective. I don't take many trades because actually I don't, you know, have a lot of time to do trading. I'm focused on just investing in quality stocks. So that's where I'm at. Okay, I think any other stocks or questions or something that people have not understood, something that needs to be addressed? Okay, I guess there's no input. So let's just, anyone has any stock suggestions? I think I'll come back to who had asked DCB Cement, or I forgot the name. Who was that?
Deccan Cements, Anand Shivendu.
Cement, yeah. Deccan Cement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, when did that report come out of the price target?
I think 2 months back I got this.
2 months back, right? So let's say somewhere here, right?
Yeah.
So
around 450. Yeah.
Either here or it's here. Like, it's very clear from the charts to me. So basically what's happened is, can everyone just see this whole block over here? This is where the big money is sort of collecting this stock in this area. You can see this volumes are coming towards the left and they're heavy over here. So essentially here, the big boys have finished doing all their buying, and you know that, and slowly then the price is going up. You can see here the volumes are reducing. So essentially what's happening is that the big money is continuously buying at these levels. And here again, there is some, consolidation here. I don't know if there was an earnings here. I'll have to check with the other, this thing. I can check it here. DC, Deccan Cement, sorry. Last earnings was here. Yeah, so essentially like turns to profit in fiscal Q4. Yeah, essentially this news was on 14 June, and I think this was after your report got to you, right, Shubhendu?
I did not track that.
Yeah, but if you just go back and see,
Yeah.
like you see June 14 that turns to profit in fiscal Q4, right?
Yeah.
Now this news is coming to us here. 14, no, it's coming to us here. 14 June, after the earnings. This is the earnings over here.
Okay.
So now if the big money is bought here, like the big bulls and big investors and the management and all, like, can't we say that they know of this even before it's out to us in the public?
That's true. Yeah.
So would we not want to buy here? Why would we want to buy here? We want to buy here, no, before them.
Correct. Correct.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something that's very important to understand and, sort of, conceptually validate, because that's how, we can become better in our investing, and we can see through the price targets or anything anyone else is recommending. Like my process and what I recommend always is that don't depend on anyone else, depend on yourself. Like, trust no one, trust yourself. Like that's what you should be doing.
Anand, just mute everybody, no?
Oh, sorry. I'll just mute everyone. Umesh is there or he's gone? He had to go. Umesh is gone. So I'll just mute everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thanks. I guess the background noise, can go. Yeah. So now Deep has another question. Deep, unmute yourself and you can go ahead.
Hi, I see. If you see the sectorial charts of IT, metal, and real estate, these three sectors are doing quite good compared to other sectors.
Right.
A brief sector view, if you see real estate, after a long time, I could see like after a couple of years, it's been bouncing back the entire sector.
Yeah.
The metal has broken down after a long while.
Right.
So will the trend continue or it go into a consolidation?
Be real. You're asking, will the trend? See, you can already see from these charts here. What can you see here? Can you see this?
It's consolidated.
So what does this mean?
Big money entering.
Yes, exactly. So they've entered right here at the bottom. So
Okay.
now here at the top, you'll have to evaluate and be very, very careful if you want to jump in or not. Like this is what IB real estate. We can look at something else.
IB real estate is like that
India Bulls
almost
Housing
doubled
Finance. This is
in
also
7-8
gone.
months.
Yeah. So it's doubled in 7-8 months, but you would want to buy at the bottom, right? Why would you want to buy at the top?
Right.
Like you would want to buy at the top only if you see that from here it's going to grow 8-10x, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's sort of the idea, because the big money is already come in and bought here. And you see there's an earnings here, right? There's an earnings here, right? If you see.
Okay.
So from here it's gone and just blasted into the sky. So all this let me just see if my volume profile picks it up on Zerodha. India Bulls Housing Finance. This is the earnings, no? You see this volume over here at 150. You see this volume again here,
Yes.
and you see this big volume, heavy volume here.
All right. Right.
Now someone is saying that here, it's a resistance, you want to short it here. Now what's happened is just spiked and gone into the sky, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because there's more big money coming in. There's big money here, there's big money here, there's big money here. Okay, so that's why when these price targets and all and these analyst targets and all are there, like be very, very careful what you're listening to and what you're, following.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, so two people have got their hands up. I will unmute and, sort of this thing. I think Jagannath, I saw your hand first. So
But Anand, there, what's your view about the entire sector, not about a particular stock, but about the entire sector as a whole?
what is my view?
What's the generic scenario about the entire sector?
Which
Not a
sectors?
particular stock.
Which
Real
sector?
estate, IT, and metal for the coming year.
Real estate, IT for the coming year. Real estate, I see. I think we were discussing this that commodities are in a very good super cycle. Like prices are increasing and metals are doing well. So that is like one indication. We don't know how well they're going to do once the lockdown and all opens up. Once life gets back to normal, like till then they might do well. So that is one theme people are betting on. As far as IT goes, we are ramping up our IT infrastructure, right? In India, like, a lot of things are moving online. So there would be a lot of opportunities there. And as far as real estate goes, like maybe the luxury segment won't see it, but the affordable segment, whichever companies are there, that's a good play to have. The ancillaries are a good play to have.
Okay.
Okay. Again, I would have to look very carefully inside and see, balance sheet, do my own analysis. But this is like a broad view.
Like we
Which-
saw in metals, Tata Steel reported best profits for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
something very extraordinary, right?
Yeah. But you also sort of realize that people are not consuming services as much because they're at home. The investment into products is a lot more. Okay, so that's why the product companies and manufacturing has, taken an upswing in the last 1 year.
Okay.
So just research the theme again and see what you come up with.
How do we research the theme? Like any idea,
That
suggestion?
I think, yeah, there are books I can recommend, or otherwise there's a course that I conduct. So if you're interested in
Okay.
that, I'll be sharing details after 5 minutes, once I answer all the questions.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, next, I saw Rohit's hand up. Yeah, Rohit, go ahead.
So my question was, around number of analysts coverage, right? Like,
Number
so
of?
if, analysts covering a particular company or
Right,
stock.
right. Okay.
So, if let's say, more companies are covering a particular stock, is
Right.
that a good way to say that, big money is there? So, for example, we had this Adani Enterprises crash, right? So when that
Yeah.
happened, then news was like, very few, or I mean, I think it was negligible for Adani Enterprises that analyst coverage was not there, but still the stock was going up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
How do you kind of, gauge a stock? Like, is it like, should you say, okay, these many analysts are covering, so it is like, this is where big money is? Is that a good way of, judging it?
See, again, we don't know the intentions of the big money. Someone is going long, someone is going short, like more number of analysts, like, you don't know what someone is trying to do with the stock or with the company. So, but from a broad perspective, you can say if someone is really bullish, like, there are 15, 20 analysts covering the stock and everyone is bullish on that stock. Like a lot of the times what happens, it's already up by a lot in the last few years or something. So essentially when that happens, when there's so many analysts saying it's already so bullish and the company is already grown, then I start to sort of get skeptical and wonder, because then who's buying at those high prices is the retailers and they are going to get stuck. So this has to be very carefully understood, and you need to understand what the big money out there is doing, like, what their incentives and motivations are. So that's why a lot of the times what I try to do is buy the stock before the big money is even entering. Like, that's one way of doing it, or when it's out of favor with the big money, because then when the big money is coming in, they're not dealing in 5 crores, 10 crores, they're dealing in 500 crores. So they'll take me also up with them. So that's the idea. Okay, next I'll come to Jagannath. I saw your hand first.
Yeah, hi, Anand.
Yeah.
Anand, this is all good. I was just looking at the chats, and I saw Subex and Bajaj Sugar. I guess these two were, I could see these were picked, and I think few of the people also took trade. So I just want to understand what made you, give a call on this, and secondly, on what basis you
I have not
studied
given
this.
any call on Subex and this thing. Subex and Bajaj, and they are not mine. I have not posted anything about them.
So you didn't, yeah? Okay, because I saw that in the group. I didn't know.
Yes, Shweta, what are you saying?
Anand did. Anand Agarwal.
That's Anand. That's not me.
Okay. I
So
think
Anand is not on this meeting. So sorry.
okay.
No, whenever there. So okay.
Okay, fine. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
So now we'll move on to the next question. Kunal, your hand is up. I will lower your hand and ask you to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had two questions actually, if I may.
Sure.
The first one, as you you were talking about India Bulls, right?
Yeah.
So actually, I was holding a position in it as a trading bet, but then since it was going up, I was trailing the stop loss and continuing to stay in it.
Yeah.
So my point was, okay, now that you have entered on a decent level, right? Like I was in it around 100, 105. Now it has come to 170.
Which stock?
India Bulls Real Estate.
Okay.
And
Okay.
now
Yeah,
the
sure.
sector is also in the news, right? Like
Yeah.
after it crossed the level of 150, 160, then that is when it comes into the news.
Right.
So what would be the right time to like exit in such a scenario, like where you have entered at the right time or something like that?
Yeah. So
Like,
basically you've entered at the right time, right? You're
yeah, around
100,
105, right?
yeah, 100, 105, and you've gone up. Okay. So
Yeah,
when you exit, like now long-term investors, what I typically tend to do is like, is the business model strong? Is the future growth good? Is it going to keep growing from here? That's the questions I ask myself. And can the management be trusted with their plans? Okay.
okay.
So now if all this is still intact, it's still growing, whatever, 10, 15, 20, 30%, like I don't even know when the company is becoming bigger and bigger. So keep holding on, like trail your stop loss or whatever, or like, what a lot of people do. Like why to sell something? Like, it's
Yeah,
like I can show you one stock, like this is what I had suggested in the group also. Now you see where this is, Thirumalai Chemicals.
yeah. I even was checking the charts of this stock also.
See where it's come from. It's come from like
Yeah.
the low gallows of 30 to 180. So yeah. So that's like, this is something you'll have to either learn about valuations, you'll have to learn about business models.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I am actually like a beginner, and when it comes to fundamentals, I don't have much idea about it.
Yeah.
Like even
So
the India Bulls thing was totally based on what I thought technically was right.
yeah. So I I think you were interested in my course also, if I'm not.
Yeah. I was speaking about this same problem, the fundamental part of it, as you said.
Yeah. So I sort of teach that, how to analyze that,
Yeah.
how to like
And
ignore the noise essentially,
yeah,
because there are stocks which I am holding which are like 200, 300% up also. Like,
yeah.
there's no need to exit, because why exit when the company is going to grow from 3x,
Bro, yes.
4x, it can give me 20x also, no?
20x also makes
What
sense.
if I'm
Yes.
holding the next ITC? I don't know that, right? Yeah.
And one more thing I had to ask, that the consolidation part which you were explaining to us, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it can go towards the downside also, right? Like
Yeah.
let's say
Yeah.
consolidation part
Yeah.
and the big money exits at,
Yeah.
that is the time you can go downwards also. So that also totally depends on the fundamental side of the company, right?
Yeah. So that's why, like, this company, like, I was holding and it was down 70%.
Okay.
Okay, it was down here somewhere. I had it all along here somewhere. And now see where it's gone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, actually,
see,
I actually took a position in this stock, Tirumalai Chemical, right? That's the same
yeah,
chart, right? I got in around 150, I guess.
yeah. So the thing is, see, all these things, like the more you learn, I can give you book recommendations. It's on my blog,
Yeah.
like, that you can start there. But if you
Okay.
want to accelerate your learning, like, I can talk about my course. I'll just come to that.
All right. All right.
Shubhendu is asking,
Thank
how
you.
will you know when big money will enter? Like, that's your question, right, Shubhendu?
Yeah, so you said, right, that why get in after big money has entered? Why not
Yeah.
do that before? So the question is to find out how, right?
Yeah, so this will either be in the news. You could check out BSE filings. You could check out Money Control.
Okay.
Like, these are various resources, but you will always get to know after the fact.
Okay.
You won't get to know now. You see, this Tirumalai we are talking about. Like, if I
Yeah.
have bought somewhere here, along with or before the big money, let's just go to Screener and see what's happening.
Okay.
Okay. Now the results had come out last week. Now, can you see suddenly the stakes have increased? This is FIs and this is DIs. These are institutions.
Yeah.
So can you see this?
Correct.
Okay. Slowly, they are buying into this stock. What does that indicate?
That this is going to go up. This is where
No,
they're
that
betting.
I don't know if it's going to go up or not. Don't,
Okay.
catch a hold of my neck. But
Understood.
what is happening if they're increasing their stake? Like, okay, I'll rephrase that. Not that it's going to go up, but they're that confident in the position.
Yeah.
See, because from here, if it comes cracking down to 100 again, they might pick it up again.
Yeah.
As I was explaining, analyst management meetings and things like that, they meet, they talk and stuff like that. When it comes back to 100, the retailers will get scared and go out of the stock.
Yeah.
That's what tends to happen. They'll put stop losses, which will get triggered. It's very obvious. But then management institutions and all will meet. They'll say, okay, 100, the stock is going to go to 400-500. Like, the company is growing. It's really positive. So these are things we have to fine tune and get smart at and realize what kind of things are actually happening. Like, what's the logic? What's the market behavior? Who's doing what? When you start asking and understanding these questions, the probability of mistakes will reduce. That's the most important thing.
Okay.
Okay. So now I think, I think for a change, we can end this meeting on time at 5 o'clock. So I think some of you were asking about my course, what I teach and, cost and all that. So, like, if I have your permission, I can take the next 5-10 minutes explaining about that. And people that are not interested, you can leave. Like, I won't feel bad, nothing, no harm done. Like, you all can feel free to leave. No problem. Okay. Yeah. So essentially the course, I can pull it up here. So we take a deep dive, like it's majorly done across 4 sessions. There are targeted exercises to be done. We do valuations, we use Screener, we use parameters that are useful and helpful, like, what is a company doing? And essentially we filter out, like, whether we are doing value investing or growth investing, what kind of scanners and screeners, and what are the technicals behind it. Like, we take the help of as many things we can across the whole universe of noise that's being created, and we come down to some less than 10 or 8 basic parameters, like profit, growth, sales, and things like that. Like lot of things are actually very common and known to a lot of people, and we apply that in a way and a framework which will help us always outperform and know what's happening, like how to enter before the big money, or like which stock the big money can target. We come to know of all these things, right? And I guess Ajay, you're on the call, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so now you've taken my course, so now how confident are you of entering before the big money?
Very confident.
Very confident, right?
So much confident that I feel like I had,
You
more
feel like
money
you're
to
the
put.
big money.
Yeah, I want to be. Yeah, yeah. If I had the big money, I could bet on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, that's like, but don't you think it's more like psychologically we need to understand these things and build our own conviction? That's why, like maybe, both of us are at different ages, different stages of our life. So what might be a good bet for you is not a good bet for me, correct?
Yeah.
Like you're not comfortable with something that I might choose to do.
Yeah.
Correct. So, but that process has also been explained through the course, right? Like how you can take lower risk and how I might be able to take higher risk.
So just to tell you, Anand, that this whole group of cash crushers, discussion meetings.
Yeah.
The people who are giving calls day in and day out, the calls go very right, and that's why everybody says that it is the best group to be in. Okay.
Yeah.
So just want to say that these calls will keep on coming, and people will say this and that. But the thing is that when you have understood why people are saying, then you can actually bet on it, rather than just finding in other people's calls. You can actually find out why is the person saying, and then the conviction is, instead of, I would say, I would pay put 50,000 on somebody else's conviction. I would not do 2 lakh rupees investment or a 5 lakh rupees.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
If Shweta puts, I might put a 50K. But or anybody, I'm just saying, just a name for name's sake.
Yeah,
but when I do valuations, then I can put 2 lakh also. So just telling you the transition that I had.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I don't want to sit and promote myself, like, just I feel it's better to keep giving value. But essentially this is the change, and this is what I'm aiming to do through this course as well. Like, how your whole lifestyle, your whole demeanor, and all this will start changing. Because then whenever someone is recommending or there's some idea, you will know exactly how to analyze that idea and take a much better decision with your portfolio and your investments. Okay. Sumit, I think you had messaged me regarding, like, course details and.
Correct.
Yeah. So, like, is it clear to you
Yes.
what we'd be doing?
Yes. Very much.
Yeah. So, any other questions, you can always ping me on WhatsApp. Like, I'm always available.
Sure.
So, yeah, I think.
Anand, Neeraj here.
Yeah.
Yeah, even I'm interested for this role, but would like to do on a weekend. Do you have some accelerator role?
It's on the weekend only. The course is Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. Is it already started, or you have to start?
No,
now?
It starts on the next batch I have starts on this Friday.
Okay. Can you share me the detail?
Yeah, I'll share you the details. Like, I'll share you all the details, the fees and all that, like, with you. And essentially it's 3 days, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we cover the bulk of the material there. There's a 4th session after 10 days because there's homework and worksheets and things like that to be done.
Okay.
And like, the benefit is once you're there in this, you can always come back. I believe, Ajay, you're coming back, right? Next weekend to revise a few concepts.
Yes, I'm coming back. Yes.
Yeah. So that access is always with you for this class.
And Friday at what time?
Friday we started around 4:30.
Okay, and it's 3 hours a day, something like that.
3 hours on Friday, 7 hours on Saturday, Sunday, depends on group.
Okay. Saturday at what time?
Saturday 12 to 7.
Okay, cool.
And this is mainly done because people are working Monday to Friday, so they're busy.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense. Even it's good for me on Saturday.
Yeah. So you can message me for more details, because I think there are other people also may have
Sure.
questions. So yes, anyone else, any questions, anything you'll want to know? Anything about price targets?
Hi, can you share the name of the book that you were recommending
For
for learning? You said you will suggest some book
yeah,
names.
I'll this thing, just ping me on WhatsApp. I'll send you, or you can email me. I will send you the list. Like there's a blog, I'll send you 2-3 places where you can get started. So at least you'll start building your confidence.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Anand.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I guess if
Thank
there's
you.
no other questions, no other clarifications, like, we can sort of end. But like for everyone else, like, that stayed back and stuff, like the price targets and all, did you find the meeting useful? Yes or no? Can you put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and sort of say whether you found it useful, whether you know now, how to evaluate. Yeah, thanks, Venkat. Yes. Thank you. Yes, thanks, Sumit. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So if there's no further questions, like, I'll just end the meeting in a minute or so, and you can always feel free to message me on WhatsApp and all. And I think the next meeting we are planning in 2 weeks, we'll do a case study. We'll pick up 1 or 2 of the stocks. We'll do a case study and let's see, what's actually happening. Okay.
Thank you, Anand.
All right.
Thanks a
Thanks,
lot.
Anand.
everyone. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining on a Sunday. Thanks.
Thank you, Anand.
Thanks.
Truly a
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thanks.